Annie. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good, thanks. So what are we going to talk about today?
My mom just got remarried, and I don't really know how I feel about her choice of person to remarry yet. I don't really like him that much.
Oh, okay. How long have him and your mom been together?
They've been together for I'd say about 6 months, but they've known each other all their lives.
Okay. So how long have you known him?
I mean, he's been around. Before my dad died, he was like one of my mom's good friends, and I never thought anything of it. So he's been around like my whole life, kind of. Just it's been in the last few months that it's been like really in depth, and it's kind of jarring a little bit.
Well, what makes you feel like it's jarring? Like what?
I feel like he's encroaching on the space that my dad left, and I don't like the fact that he's trying. I feel like he's trying to take that place. He hasn't necessarily done anything that has told me that. He treats me really well. I'm not comfortable with him marrying my mom because my dad is supposed to be married to my mom, and I really didn't want my mom to remarry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like your dad's death kind of left this hole in your family with you and your mom, and now that your mom has remarried, it feels like that guy that your mom married is filling that spot that your dad's supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you haven't been really able to fully heal from your dad's death.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because like I know that my stepdad is trying. He really is trying. I kind of wish he would stop trying. He's trying so hard. But it's like, I want him to step back and take a look at like how I feel. And I know he's very concerned about how my mom feels, which he should be, and I'm glad that he takes care of my mom. But it's like, it kind of was just a decision that two adults made, and then I was kind of like thrown in the middle of it and was like, okay, this is our decision. And it was kind of like, okay, thanks for asking my opinion. Although they necessarily didn't have to because I am the child, but it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Right, and it probably feels like they didn't value your opinion in their decision making.
Yeah.
Because they didn't ask you for your opinion, and that must feel very frustrating knowing that they didn't consider your feelings.
Yeah, like I have to live in this house with them. Like I am a member of this family. I would like to be in these kind of discussions, and yes, I understand that my role is that I am the child, but I feel like if we're going to operate as a family unit, they should take my opinion more into consideration than they do.
Mm-hmm. So right now you don't feel like you're an actual family just because they're kind of acting as a separate entity from you, and there's no unity right now.
Yeah, and it might partially be my fault because I've kind of shut myself down from accepting what's going on because I don't, like you said earlier, I haven't really healed from my dad's death, and it kind of felt, again, it felt really sudden when my mom remarried, and it was like, and my stepdad treats us very well, and he treats my mom really well, and he's trying with me, but I feel like I can't accept what he's trying to do.
Right, because you haven't really moved on from your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's death. So it sounds like until you really heal from losing your dad, you won't be able to move forward with your stepdad because you're still kind of stuck from when you had your dad.
Yeah.
Can I ask how old you were when your dad passed away?
I was about 12.
Okay. So how did your mom handle your dad's death?
She handled it the best way that she could. I knew my mom and my dad were in love. I knew that they loved each other very, very much. And my stepdad was very involved with trying to help my mom. Cope is not the word I want to use, but help her get through it. And it was never in a way that I felt was inappropriate. He never made an advance on her during his time. It was not like that. He was there for her as a friend. But my mom, I mean, when he died, it hurt her a lot too. But I feel like in marrying my stepdad, she moved on a lot quicker than I am able to. But I did overhear a conversation with my stepdad and my mom, and my stepdad was telling her that like he feels that he lost his parents too, so he knows where I'm coming from, and I feel like that's why he's trying so hard. And when I heard that, it made me take a step back and say, wow, okay, maybe he does know where I'm coming from, and maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt and the chance, because I do get the feeling that he isn't trying to replace my dad, but that's just my own barriers and walls that I've built up that I don't want to let him in.
Definitely. I mean, it sounds like you have conflicting feelings right now, because on one hand, you feel really closed off from your stepdad because you just instinctually feel like he's trying to replace your dad, and that just automatically brings up a wall. But on the other hand, you can kind of see that your stepdad is coming from kind of a good place, and that he's trying to have a good relationship with you, and it sounds like you might be open to that, but you just have a lot of barriers to go to take down and get over.
Yeah, when I overheard this conversation, he did say that he lost his parents at a young age too. He lost his parents when he was 12. And so he's kind of been just, he lived with an uncle. He's very well off. His parents were very, very wealthy, and so he lived with his uncle in this mansion, and so it was just him and his uncle. And so it was I can see a lot of similarities between the way he was feeling at that time and the way that I feel now. So, I don't know, I feel like I should let him in, and I feel like I should trust him, but I'm also afraid of losing another father figure.
Because with your dad dying, it sounds like, now you feel like anytime a man comes into your life, there's that high probability that he's going to leave you, and that must be very disheartening.
Yeah, and it's hard, because like I do want to fill that gap that my dad left, and my dad will always be my dad, and I would be very open to having a different relationship, but a fatherly daughterly relationship, if those are words.
Yeah.
At the same time, so it's hard, and it's affected a lot of things. I've not withdrawn, but emotionally withdrawn from school, and I kind of just I don't want to be there. I've noticed that I've gotten into a lot more fights since all of this has been going on, and it's not fun.
Oh, definitely. It sounds like your mom getting married has opened up a lot of different emotional wounds, and you don't know how to handle all of that because it's just coming in like a tidal wave.
Yeah.
And now you're just trying to find the best step to move forward, and you really don't know.
So I'm glad that I decided. Well, my mom kind of put me in counseling, but I'm glad that I'm here. So.
Yeah, I mean, have you tried talking to your mom and stepdad about how their decision to get married has affected you?
Yes, I will admit that I came at it from a very bad angle. I was very angry when I decided to have this conversation with them. So my mother reacted as any mother should, and my stepdad kind of backed off and let my mom handle it. It would probably be a good idea to try to have that conversation again when now that I'm better, I'm less angry, and I can sit down and say, hey, I kind of want to talk things out, and I want to figure out life, and I want us to be a family, and have that openness. But I'm afraid of bringing up my dad, because I know that my mom had to deal with it too, and I don't want her to have to start feeling things again. And, you know, I don't want to bring all that up in her.
Definitely.
So I kind of hesitate to do that.
I mean, when your dad passed away, were you able to talk to her about it? Were you able to kind of talk through things, or did she kind of just shut down and kind of leave you to do your own thing?
She kind of shut down. Left me to do my own thing. It was hard for the both of us. I mean, I knew by her actions that she cared. We moved out of the house that I had grown up in, so she put us in a new situation to be able to have a fresh start, which at the time I was angry about because that was my childhood home. But like now that I'm a little older, I can see why she did that. She always was able to put food on the table. You know, we would not talk about it, but we would sit down and like we would definitely spend time together. And the first couple of months after he passed away, it was really hard for the two of us to even look at each other, but it slowly got better, and we started like watching movies on Friday nights together and spending that time together. And then when my stepdad kind of started coming more into the picture, I felt like that relationship that I had with my mom was kind of being taken away from me, because it was like I just lost another parent, now I'm losing her too. Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like things were going a little too fast for you.
Mm-hmm.
And did you try communicating that with your mom at the time?
No, because I was afraid of, you know, if it was a good thing, I didn't want to get in the way. But I also wanted to be able to talk to her. But again, if it was a good thing, I didn't want to get in the way of her being happy, because I do want my mom to be happy. She deserves to be happy after everything that's happened. So it's hard because I don't know how to even start. I'm at that place where like I want to start and I want to change myself to be able to start this, but I don't know where to start with all of that. And like being able to talk to my mom. I mean, family's really important to me, and so I would love to have that kind of relationship with my mom again, and even my stepdad, to be able to sit down and talk with them. But it's been hard because now they're both working. My mom is really busy right now, and my dad, he's away during the day sometimes, but he's away most nights. So it's like getting a chance for us all to sit down and talk.
Okay.
It's hard.
So it sounds like through everything, even though you wanted to have this relationship with your mom and stepdad, the lack of having time together is making it hard for you to really even try to bring up the conversation with them. And so it sounds like you need to maybe ask them to maybe set some time off and maybe have that conversation. But maybe it also sounds like it's hard for you to even know what to say. And
it's scary because it's like being vulnerable. Like when my dad passed away, I guess that was one of the things that I did was I put up a whole bunch of walls, and I started to feel invulnerable. I was like, I'm not gonna look sad, I'm not gonna look upset, I don't want people's pity. And that was probably part of my problem with being able to talk to my mom about my dad's death, was I wasn't able to because of my own walls that I had put up. And that's why I started getting into fights at school, is because like if anyone questioned my vulnerability, I would show them that I wasn't vulnerable.
Okay, so you felt like people were maybe taking pity on you because your dad had died, and you didn't want that. You wanted to show people that it didn't affect you, that you weren't vulnerable, because that's a feeling that you don't like at all.
It's extraordinarily uncomfortable.
Yeah, it sounds like
scary. It's scary to be vulnerable. It's scary that, you know, that it's scary to feel like I was left alone, even though I wasn't necessarily alone. I mean, I had my mom, but again, she was dealing with it on her own. So it was like we both had to deal with it separate from each other. And so in dealing with it, like it was hard to be alone with everything that was going on.
Right. It sounds like you didn't feel like you had anyone to talk to, or didn't have a support system when your dad passed away. And you were trying to deal with everything on your own, but at such a young age, it was difficult.
Yeah.